Alright, what we're going to do is replace the hardware on these ladders because the ladder's still good. So we're going to have to take out these screws, which are within these little aluminum tubular type of things and attached to the brackets on the RV, which are riveted. So since they don't sell the hardware, we're going to have to do our own thing. First thing we have to do is lubricate them screws so we can get them out, because they're all rusty. So what I'm going to use is this PB blaster, penetrating catalyst. I'm going to squirt it onto those screws, and hopefully it'll break up the rust and be able to get the screws out. So I'll start off by getting it in those screws, getting it inside the tube. And we'll see what happens. Let it soak for a little while. Yeah, the screws may be really bad rusty that the penetrating solvent doesn't seem to work, so you may have to use this thing. It's called Pro Grab It. Or you're going to have to drill the screw and force it out. So I'm going to try one with that one. I already did the two bottom ones that seem to come out. And I'll show you what they look like in a second. I'm going to do the next ones up. Let's see what happens. So this is what we got going on inside the tubes here. We have a screw that goes on this side. And some kind of adapter over here, and another screw coming out of the RV with another adapter here, or coupling. So we've got two couplings going on here. So just so you can see what's going on inside. I'm going to remove the rest of these screws. I'm going to take this out, and take this out, and see what we've got going on here. So to take out this bracket from the body of the RV, you need to drill a couple of holes inside the rivets and pop them out. And we're going to have to re-rivet this. So this is what we got on the other side. It's a screw, another screw coming out from the bracket that's on the RV, which is held in by a couple of rivets with some kind of coupling, and you saw the screw coming through the ladder. So I got two screws here. So Home Depot shared this with me. We're going to try this. You need two 3-inch screws, along with a couple of couplings. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert one of these screws into this bracket once I get this off. And another screw going through the ladder, and in the middle I'm going to try to hold this together with coupling and see if that'll do the trick. And if it does, I'm going to do it with all the brackets on the entire ladder and see if that holds the ladder in place. Okay, it seems like the most difficult task is to get these rusty screws out of here, and you're just going to have to figure out a way to get them out and pop out the rivets from these brackets. And once that's done, the objective now is to put the screw in here like this and get the coupling in the middle, and then get the other screw in. Every screw is going to be different sizes because they're all different heights from the ladder to the body of the rig. Once we get the screw in here, you get like this. And the job is going to have to be to find the coupling. And so once you get it inside the coupling, you can tighten it up. It's going to take a little while too to do it. We'll do it because I did it already. Once it's tightened up, pop rivet these back in here. Put some silicone around here, and that seems to be done. I'm going to do it all the way up to the top. I'll let you know how I did it. Make sure it come out. To give you a better view of this, what I got going on here. coupling, and tubing. And we're going to have to find the coupling inside that tubing. That's going to be the hardest part. Well, once you get the rest of the piece of cake, then it can be done, because I just did it. So. Okay. Okay, so my first test one worked. It's dirty. It will go into place once we're done here, and once I put some caulking and sealing around the bracket. So the rest should work just the same way. All the brackets, all the tubing are different sizes, so I've measured every single one of them. Now I'm going to go back to Home Depot and buy some more screws, and I need some drill bits too, because every time I drill out the rivets, I seem to be breaking my drill bits, so I buy some new drill bits. So it seems like the hardest part is the rusty screws. That's going to be the most difficult part, because those screws have really gotten rotted, and every single one has been giving me a hard time. So it's probably going to be maybe your hardest job, is to get these screws out of here. But after that, it should be okay. So I'm going to get some brackets and screws and drill bits, and see how this goes. That should go pretty easy. I'm pretty confident that this should work. So I'll start filming again when I get more screws. Okay, so returning back from Home Depot, I had measurements from each of the metal tubings. Yeah, we're going to have to put the screws inside, and everything was easy enough to find. All you got to do is take the measurements. For example, one of them is 6 inches, so I'm going to put in 2 3-inch screws with a coupling in the middle, and that should take up to 6 inches. So you have to figure out what the size is and divide it by 2. Now the other thing was that there are 2 brackets at the top that are 13.5 inches. So I couldn't find any screws that long. So what I'm going to have to do is take one of these rods, and this is 12 inches, but that's still not going to do the job for me. I got to cut it a little bit and use one of these shorter screws to make up the difference. So that's it. So I'm going to start putting these brackets together and see how it comes out. Alright, with the longer tubes, I have to cut down my little rod here, size, and all I did was I just put a bolt on the end and put some glue on it, and I'm going to let that set and glue right onto the bracket. And I'm going to take, just repeat the process with a small screw on one side, going through the ladder, and right through the tube and into the bracket. The other ones are coming along just fine. I'm going to finish these other 2 and then go on to the next one. Occasionally you're going to get these screws that are so tough to get off that the only way to do it is to hacksaw it off. So your luck. What I did is I put a vice grip on one end and hacksaw the bolt off this side, and I get the bracket free and clear. I also found that to help lining up the bolts, the coupling with the screws, you put a massive tape around the coupling, so when you put it inside the tube, it'll stay centered. and that'll help you line up the coupling with the other screws, because otherwise it'll be floating around inside the tubing. So try either a massive tape, just roll it around, or whatever else you can find to just keep the bolt to stay in the center of the tubing. Okay, all the screws, brackets, and the tubing are all in place. Now I'm ready to start riveting the brackets to the wall of the rig. I'm going to first put on some 3M marine sealant, 5200. That's what I was told the best kind of sealant to use. I'll put that on first, and I'm going to rivet it with 3/16" aluminum rivets. Okay, job is complete. After everything's been riveted, now I'm in the process of just putting the sealer in there. Make sure everything's sealed around the brackets, and good as new. Nice and solid, and good for another 10,000 miles. So I hope this worked for you. Good luck.